If you have any issues with your hands, such as arthritis or carpal tunnel, then you may find this video interesting, because in this video, I'm going to be showing and demonstrating some tools that are out in the marketplace that may make it easier on your hands when you're creating mosaics. Now, as always, if you have issues with your hands, you should always seek professional medical advice before purchasing or using any tools. This video is sponsored by Merlin Mosaica. So anyway, let's get into the video. These are one of my favourite tools in the marketplace. These are the C-Bell double-wheeled glass snipper. And these weigh 260 grams, so these are one of the very lightest tools out in the marketplace. Now this tool has comfortable hand grips which make it a pleasure to use, and these nippers have a thickness lock, which means that this particular lock here, when it's in the open position to number 2, the handles open up wider, and when it's in the 1 position, they don't open up as wide, and of course then you have the 0 position, which reduces the handles opening up even further. So the advantage to that is that with a lot of nippers in the marketplace, the handles are open quite wide, which means you have to stretch your hands to actually grab hold of the nippers. And when you're cutting, these aren't wanting to go back into a wide position. So this really helps with hand fatigue. Now the green bumpers are a game changer. They help catch the offcuts when cutting, as you can see in this video. And it's a painted feature, and it could also be seen as a safety feature as well. Now they're suitable for left or right-handed users without needing any adjusting, which is really good because I'm left-handed. And they're designed to be used with glass only, so don't use them for any ceramics or anything like that. They're designed for glass only. Now this is a premium quality lightweight glass nipper from Germany, from a company called Bolle, and it's called the Zag-Zag. It's a bit pricey, but it is an investment, and it weighs 264 grams. It's accurate nipping and very easy to use. As you can see in this video, when you nip, these definitely nip with a purpose. Due to the cost, it would be an advantage if you can try them before investing in a pair. I don't know whether that's possible, but you might be able to somewhere. It comes with a catchment bag to catch the shards, and you can also remove this bag if you don't need it. Now, the catchment bag is replaceable, so you can buy a new one if you need to further down the track. It's quite comfortable, it's quite a light nipper, and it's suitable for glass only. These are another one of my favourite tools out in the marketplace, and these are called the QEP Extreme Double-Wheeled Glass Nipper. Now they're quite lightweight at 240 grams, and this tool also has comfortable hand grips that make it a pleasure to use. Now these tools also have a thickness lock that helps reduce hand fatigue, and they have 3 different positions. Open on number 2, it opens it wide so that the handles are open wider. Number 1 reduces the handles in a bit more, and 0 reduces the handles in a bit further, which means that you don't have to open your hands wide to grab hold of these nippers, because unlike a lot of nippers out in the marketplace, they just open up wide and that's it. So that's going to help reduce hand fatigue. Also, when you're using them and nipping them, as you can see in this video here, your nippers are not going to open up to their widest point, which means it's going to take stress off your hands. Now they are suitable for left or right-handed users, so that's really good because there's no need for any adjusting for that, and they're designed to be used for glass only. This double-wheeled nipper has been quite popular out in the marketplace, and they're made by a company called Breeder. Now unfortunately at the time of filming this video, the Breeders were no longer being made. They actually haven't been made for quite some time. However, you will find second-hand ones coming up for sale from time to time in the Facebook Mosaic groups. So just keep an eye out for those. You can't go and buy a new pair of these into a store or online. You're going to be very reliant in someone selling a pair online. Now they are lightweight and a comfortable tool, only weighing 248 grams. Now the Breeder multiplies your force by a record 5 times while keeping your wrist at a safer angle to help avoid repetitive stress injury. Now this is what they were designed for. They were designed by an artist for those people that have issues with their hands. Now they are fully reversible for both right-handed and left-handed use, and they are suitable for glass only. Now, due to the design of these nippers, you're going to find there are going to be those people that don't like them because it takes quite a bit of getting used to when you compare them to normal double-wheeled nippers out in the marketplace. And you're going to find there are those people that absolutely love them. But either way, if you have issues with your hands and you can get a pair of these second-hand, then these are certainly worth looking into. I would consider these to be the best and the smallest compound nippers that I've ever come across in the marketplace today. They weigh only 285 grams and they are called the Seabell Max Pro compound nippers. Now, they've been designed by a lady mosaic artist because she saw a gap in the industry. All the compound nippers that she came across were designed for men's hands. So she decided to get there and design a smaller pair that she could actually use. Now, these compound nippers magnify the force, which means it takes less effort to make a cut compared to many other nippers in the marketplace. Now, this is due to their design. They have a switch which allows the nippers to open up into two different positions, and this can help reduce hand fatigue because you don't need to have the nippers fully open at all times, like you do with normal compound nippers when cutting. Now, they are suitable for left or right-handed users without any needing of any adjustment. Replaceable straight and curved blades are also available, and the Seabell Max Pro compound nippers are suitable for ceramic, porcelain, and some glass. This tool is a compound nipper, and this is a generic brand. And this nipper has been designed to actually magnify your force, which means it takes less effort to make a cut compared to many other nippers in the marketplace. Now, the downside to that is these are made for the tiling industry, and you will find that the nippers actually, or the handles, open up quite wide. Now, that means that you're going to have to grab hold of the handles, and that could be a little bit more difficult if you have smaller hands. And when you're nipping away, these nippers the handle's going to open up or want to open up quite wide. So that's going to require a bit more effort on your part to actually keep nipping. Now, what some people do is that they put an elastic band around the handles to help keep those handles closed. And that would also help with nipping because that will require less effort from you to actually keep closing those handles. Now, these weigh in at 418 grams and are generally used for harder materials such as ceramic and porcelain. They are going to be heavier and there is going to be a bit of a trade-off with the size, but they do work fine for harder materials. And these are certainly going to be a lot better to use these than what they would be, say, using other nippers out there that don't magnify the force. If you're working with ceramics, then I consider this tool to be quite important to have. This is a scorer breaker, and it's not so much going to be easier on your hands because it's not ergonomic or anything like that, but it is going to make it easier to actually break the tile, and that's why I've put it in this video. Now, like I said, this is a scorer breaker, so it has a scoring wheel down here, and then this top part breaks the tile. However, I don't use this scoring wheel down here at all. I prefer to use a glass scorer because I find it gives me greater control and easier to see what I'm scoring. But I do use the breaker bit up top, and that's why I've put it in this video. So what I've got here is I've actually scored a tile, and all I'm going to do is put the tile where the score line is in the middle, and the score line is right in the center there, and all I'm going to do is just push down on it. And that's easy as, and that's required very, very little effort to actually break the tile. I suppose you're wondering what this actually is. Well, this is a Creators brand Cutters Mate Mini, and this is a grid-based scoring system that is so very easy to set up and use. This is used for scoring stained glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to set up and also score and break a piece of glass using this system. So I'll just put that aside. Now, it comes with two waffle grids, and these waffle grids have lugs on them. We just slot those waffle grids into the cutout areas there. So just put it in there. Done. So easy. Now, the beauty about this waffle grid system is that when we're scoring and breaking, you can get shards of glass. Now, the advantage to this is that the shards actually go into the waffle grid, so they don't sit on the surface of your cutting area. That's really good because what you don't want to do is find that you get shards in your hand and with this system, that certainly helps avoid that from happening because they go into the waffle grid system. Now the system also comes with these two plastic bits, which we'll call those lugs, and all we do is we put them where we want them, and I'm going to put them just there like that. Now then we have the arm and the cutting head. Now on the end of the arm here are these two plastic ends, and these are hollowed out and specifically hollowed out to actually go over those lugs. So it's very easy to do. I'm going to put one over that lug there. I'm going to get the other one and put it on that lug there, and that's it. Your cutting system is now set up and good to go. That is just easy. Now the advantage of this cutting system is if you have weak wrists or hands, or you have arthritis or issues with them, then you may find this cutting system is going to be really beneficial to you to enable you to continue scoring and breaking stained glass. Now this head is weighted, and this is the thing that does all the work for you. All you have to do is guide it. Now you've got a glass scorer on the bottom here, so you just do it like normal glass scoring. You put it where you want it to, and then you can score a wiggly line or a straight line, or even if you're going to do a circle, you put it how you want it, and then you turn it as you go. And you don't really need pressure on this because this scoring head, as I said, is weighted and it will do the work for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually demonstrate with a piece of this glass, and this glass is a bit textured on one side, but the other side's fairly smooth, and all I'm going to do is put it on the waffle grid system. I'm going to make sure that my glass scorer is where I want it to be, and all I'm going to do is guide it to where I want it to go. And I'm not going to be putting any extra pressure on that at all. There we go. I'll put that aside. I like to put the little cap on it because that does protect the scoring head. You probably don't need to do that after every score, but that's just what I tend to do. Okay, and then we get our running pliers and we just put it on the end of the score line, making sure that we line it up, and we just break it like that. And on this side as well. And how easy is that? Now that required very little effort to do that, and it did such a wonderful job. The comfortable grip handle helps eliminate strain that is normally experienced while scoring glass, and the cutting head maintains a 90-degree cutting angle to the surface, and the scoring head rotates 360 degrees. This gives you the ability to cut almost any shape effortlessly. It virtually eliminates pressure on the wrist, shoulder, and removes the need to stand whilst cutting. So for those people suffering from arthritis, carpal tunnel, or any other wrist issues, then this is certainly a system worth considering. Now this was supplied by Merlin Mosaica, so I want to thank Merlin Mosaica for supplying this grid system for me to try out. And also check out her website because she carries a very large range of tools and also systems and tools that will certainly help if you have issues with your wrists or hands. And also check out her range of beautiful stained glass and her other beautiful tessera on her website. So now let's get into the next lot of tools. If you're working with harder materials such as stone, it can be extremely hard on your hands. Now here's a machine by Hassel, and it's called the chopping machine. And it takes your harder material and it turns it into smaller pieces of tessera by just simply chopping it. Now this is an extremely well-built machine, and it is an investment. However, if it means that you can continue to work with harder materials, then it's certainly well worth its money. And it's extremely easy to use. Now here's a video that I've got up on screen now demonstrating how easy this machine actually is. And I'm just putting it in there, and I'm going to wind the head down just so it's touching the actual marble. And I'll use my hands to guide it across so as I can cut the width that I'm actually after. And it cuts beautifully. Beautiful. And here's some white marble. On the head down, begin cutting. I think it's done a really good job. Now let's have a look at the cutting of the 10mm glass rods. I'm just going to bring that cutter blade down to the height. There we go, and we'll see how it performs. Cuts very, very easily. No effort at all. And I've got a little box at the end there that's actually catching the offcuts, that's working well. But I'd like to try this and see how it goes with the guide. So I'm going to now attach the guide, and once I've done that, we'll come back. Very easy, very consistent. So I really think it works extremely well with the guide or without the guide. I think if you work without the guide, you're going to need a bin at the end to catch your offcuts, the tessera offcuts. But working with the guide is really easy too. I think also with this machine is as you use it more, you'll get faster and faster with using it. This chopping machine is a precision tool that can cut hard materials up to 12mm thick. Replaceable blades are also available if you need them further down the track. A major advantage that this tool has over hand tools and the traditional hammer and hardy is that it's a lot easier on your hands and wrists. Cutting hard materials with hand tools can be really hard on your hands, especially if you have issues with them. The same can also be said for when using a hammer and hardy because you are using your wrist when using the hammer. That's not to say this chopping machine will replace those tools because they too have their advantages. If you're going to be doing a lot of repetitive cutting or have issues with your hands or wrists, then this machine offers a more efficient and precise way of cutting hard materials. When it comes to stained glass scorers, we have a lot to choose from, and if you have weak wrists or hands or arthritis, you may find quite a few of them are not going to be suitable for your needs. For instance, this one here that I use is a Thankyou pencil grip glass scorer. But I wouldn't consider using this if I had arthritic hands because I'd find it very hard to grab hold of it and use it. However, I learnt on this and I've had this for a long time, so I continue to use this. But there are other options out there in the marketplace. For instance, this one here is a Thankyou pistol grip glass scorer. And this has a fairly large pistol grip handle that helps minimise hand strain. It's designed for hours of fatigue-free cutting. Now the glass scorer has a self-lubricating head. When you fill this glass chamber up with oil, then the head is lubricated with a bit of oil. But I find a lot of people actually don't fill this chamber up with oil. What they generally do is get a small container, have a rag in the bottom that's been soaked in a bit of oil, and then they tend to just put the actual scorer into the container, and that just adds a little bit of oil onto the scoring wheel. And it just lubricates it each time that they put it into the container without having, giving you an excessive amount of oil. And it also makes it easier to grab hold of this. If you're scoring glass and it's in the container, you can just quickly grab hold of it and pull it out the container. Now, there is a new design of glass scorer on the market, and it's called the Creators brand Bumblebee. This will be good when it grows up. Sorry, humour. This is only 108mm long and has a smaller but fatter hand grip. Now it comes with an oil well and a docking station that can be used with the Creators brand Cutters Mate. For instance, I have a grid here, and I'll just move these out the way, and this is the oil well that it comes in, so it can just slot into there, and that slots into there. And so you can dip it into the oil well, or you can sit it onto the actual attachment here, and then you can just grab that as you need it, which I think is really a great idea. Now, one of the things I love about this glass scorer is the magnetic base on it. If you have a heavy metal plate, the glass scorer can stand upright. For instance, I have here a plate. Now, it's not that heavy, so if I lift this up, then the plate will lift up with it. But I can get that and just flick it off and put it back on. And I really love that because that just makes it really, really easy if I want to stand it upright, and I also want to just quickly grab hold of it. So this is easy for you to not only grab hold of, but also put back in its upright position. Now, the smaller but fatter hand grip would be better for those people with smaller hands, and also the cutting head is replaceable. This and this one have a neoprene grip on it, which is like your wetsuit type material. It's quite comfortable. It's probably a bit small for my hands, but certainly if you have small hands, I think this would probably work quite well for you. Now this one here is the creator's Cozy Glass Scorer. And again, it's a neoprene cover on it, which is quite comfortable to use, but it gives you another option if you are looking for a pencil grip, but your pencil grip is a bit narrow for you to grab hold of, then this is another option for you. And this is actually quite comfortable and will allow you to have more control. So there's a few options for you when it comes to glass scorers. Now the tools that I've shown you in this video is by no means a definitive list. There are no doubt other tools in the marketplace that may make it easier on your hands when creating mosaics. I chose these tools because I thought they may offer an advantage over other tools that you may already be using, such as ease of use, a lighter weight, or they may be just more comfortable to use. We need to look after our hands when we are constantly cutting, nipping, or scoring. And as I mentioned in the intro, if you have issues with your hands, seek professional medical advice before purchasing or using any tool. Now I'd like to say thank you to Merlin Mosaica for sponsoring this video, and I have included a website link in the description box of this video, and I've also included other links that I think you might be interested in too. Put a comment in the comment section of this video if you have issues with your hands and what tools you are using that you consider help you. Also, if you do anything else that helps your hands when mosaicing, drop a comment down in the comment section as well. I enjoy reading your comments, and I know it also helps other viewers too. So if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. If you saw value in the video, please share it far and wide. And if you enjoyed it, give it a like. And I will see you in the next one. Enjoy.